Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I have the pleasure today to announce the launch of a new Desert Certification scheme, which is a new benchmark for HVAC performance in the Middle East. So I'm gonna start by the agenda of the presentation. I'm gonna be using some real-life quotes. Each of them will represent one of the challenges we face in the HVAC industry due to the inadequate certification today. So the first quote, the time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. So this quote reminds us that preparation is a key. In our industry today, most of air conditioning systems are certified on standard condition, which is 35 degrees Celsius. But real-world peak season temperature often exceeds this. As a result, many of the ACs today in GCC underperform just when we need them the most. So today we'll explore why current certification standards may not reflect actual operating condition and what this means for performance, reliability, and consumer satisfaction. The second one, feedback is breakfast of champion. So constructive feedback is essential for progress. In our sector, consultants and users regularly share concern about system performance and certification gaps. So we look at most of the complaints, what they reveal, and how we can build on that feedback into actionable improvements. Trust, but certify, but verify. So trust is essential in our industry, but so also verification. Too often, energy performance claims as accepted at face value, only to disappoint in real GCC conditions. So we'll examine why independent verification is critical and how misleading claims can undermine both trust and performance. A strong foundation is essential for lasting performance in our field. This means rigorous testing at real high temperature conditions, not just the standard scenarios. So we'll discuss how insufficient testing at high ambient temperature can undermine the reliability and effectiveness of our solution, and why building on solid foundation is non-negotiable for the industry. So we're gonna start by why Desert Certification. So the GCC region today faces extreme heat. With summer temperature with an average of 45 to 50 degrees, which we know that it can exceed much more than that. So yet the international standard used today in the GCC region is 35 degrees Celsius as reference, so which is far below the reality of this region. So this match leads to insufficient and high energy consumption. This is why Desert Certification is designed to address this gap, ensuring that the systems are tested in true GCC climate condition. So let's gonna try with GCC climate reality. So the blue line here represents the international standard set at 35 degrees Celsius and representing this line of energy consumption for this product. But the reality of GCC is much higher. So we have much higher temperature, which will result in much higher consumption. So the gap between the standard and the actual climate in GCC is key reason why imported certification falls short and why we need a solution tailored to our region true condition. So this is a little bit of resume of the standard available in the GCC countries today. So we see that all of them align on T1 of 35 degrees, and while some of them are trying to improve the standard by including 46 degrees, still there is no alignment in GCC countries on all the temperature conditions. So this is why Desert Certification aims to unify and raise the bar for the entire region. So why Desert Certification matter? Improved HVAC standards, energy needs for our climate, underestimate the energy needs for our climate by 25 to 50%. What this means on the market. So for example, a unit imported to US with a rated consumption of 3,000 kilowatt hour per year will actually consume in GCC around 4,500 kilowatt hour per year. This higher energy use puts unaccepted pressure on the energy grid, and especially in peak demand. So this unpredictability makes it much harder for government and utilities to plan and achieve effective sustainability strategies. Not only, but also this will increase the cost on the households. So Desert Certification align the testing condition with real GCC condition and provide accurate data and reduce energy waste. So to be concrete, we put a photo of a house where half of it in moderate climate and the half of it in desert climate. So on the left, we have the house in moderate climate, where standard certification at 35 degrees Celsius might be enough. On the right, the same house will face the desert harsh climate, where temperatures soar far beyond the standard testing condition. So it is unrealistic to say that the air conditioner will have the same performance in the moderate climate and in the desert harsh condition environment. So Desert Certification is a solution that ensures that products are tested and certified for the real condition we face in this region, so we stop pretending that one size fits all and start delivering true comfort and efficiency even in the most extreme climates. The Desert Certification scheme will cover all major HVAC technologies. So from the chiller to VRF to air conditioner, IT cooling, which is data center cooling, and rooftop. So we wanted the scheme to be at the same time representing the GCC weather condition, but also that covers all the mandatory points required in the different regulation in the area. So this is why we'll be certifying, of course, the T1 at 35 degrees as mandatory point, which is requested by all GCC countries for a requirement. We will add also, of course, the T3 as mandatory requirement to be more aligned with the condition of the GCC. We added T4 only for units intended for Kuwait market because this is a requirement for Kuwait, and we'll also have the operability at 50 degrees Celsius. So these 4 points are mandatory for any units that want to get Desert Certification. So in addition to the mandatory certification, we have also some optional points to be certified. And the most important one of them is what we call DSER, so the Desert Seasonal Energy Efficiency Ratio. So this is important to determine what will be the seasonal performance of the unit on the desert harsh condition. So for that, after years of study, research, and simulation working with the manufacturer, we determined 4 focal points, 4 part load points that will permit us to calculate that, which are the part load A, 100%, 46 degree, part load B, 77% at 40 degree, part load C, 50% at 33 degree, and part load D, 23% at 26 degree. Now, don't be afraid. If you want to have your DSER certified, you will not be forced to test for additional points. Why? Because in ECC, we want to be at the same time efficient, accurate, but also reduce at maximum the number of tested points. So in this DSER certification, we use the EN 14825 methodology. The EN 14825 methodology permits to calculate the seasonal efficiency only with 2 tested points. So the first one is the full load of part load 8 at 46 degree, which already represented by T3, and it is a mandatory point which is already tested. And this will need only 1 additional part load testing, B, C, or D, to be able to certify your DSER. So in order to align with all GCC regulation available, we added also one additional optional performance, which is the half load at 35 degrees Celsius. With the full load at 35 degrees Celsius already certified, an additional test of half load at 35 degrees Celsius will allow the manufacturer to certify their CSPF, which is required in most GCC regulation for the VRF units. So what are the quantified benefits and what is the impact of accurate certification on the region? So we know that European and US standards estimate an energy use between 25 to 50%, which is in GCC countries causing inefficiencies. This 25 to 50% will result to $40 to $150 underestimation of annual cost of electricity for households. Now, if we used the same efficiencies we have today for the ACs, but when tested in real condition, in the desert condition, this means we are increasing the efficiency of the units in the market by 25%. What this will mean? This will mean we'll have a potential electric consumption reduction of 10 terawatt hour in the region, corresponding to $1 billion of potential annual saving. So this will be the impact of using the accurate certification, even if you want to keep the same bar for the same performance in the market today, but tested in the real performance, so increasing the performance 25%, the amount of benefits is very big for the region. So the Desert Certification will also import some benefits for manufacturer. So to represent a single certification across GCC, which will simplify compliance and eliminates multiple local certification for manufacturers. This will result in reducing testing costs and by verifying product performance efficiently under real condition. The certification will enhance the market credibility and enable easier entry into other hot climate markets, so it will provide market expansion for manufacturers in the region. The governments also will benefit for this kind of certification. So the Desert Certification will provide governments with a standardized and a regionally relevant metric for effective policymaking and enforcement. It will support accurate and efficient grid planning to meet national goals and energy demands. And this initiative fosters harmonization across GCC countries, streamlining processes and improving market surveillance. The developers and end users will have also benefits from this kind of certification because they improve comfort and performance and the quality of the products they will be receiving, which will lower their energy bills and provide reliable operation for this unit. So how to get certified with the Desert Certification? So the process will start by, of course, the declaration of the data, where the ECC team will study this data and based on specific methodology will make the selection. This part of the certification process will take between 1 to 2 weeks. Then there is 8 to 12 weeks that is necessary to test the unit, make the factory audit, make the software check, which could be reduced also if the unit could be delivered faster. Then the unit will be delivered and will have the certificate within 14 weeks maximum, which will take an additional maximum 2 weeks. So the certificate will be available online on the website for everyone to access it. So between the declaration on data and having the data declared online and certified, it will take a maximum of 60 weeks within the ECC process. So we talked about this Desert Certification scheme. We talked about how it's important to have a certification scheme that is tailored for the GCC country and not only importing international standards that is not relevant with GCC weather condition. So we wanted everything in this scheme to be tailored for the GCC. So this is why we worked also on the visual identity, not only on the technicalities of Desert Certification. So of course we wanted a base. We wanted to go from somewhere to create this logo for the Desert Certification. We went from the base of Eurovent Certified Performance for several reasons. So the first, the ECP mark represents more than 1,600 tests per year. It represents more than 200,000 units certified. And what you need to know is Eurovent is a voluntary certification because in Europe there is no mandatory certification. And even though they have more than 200,000 certified units, there is no obligation in the market to be Eurovent certified. And why is that? Because ECP mark represents 30 years of market trust and experience in testing and certifying HVACR product. So we wanted to go from this base to keep the familiar ECP green logo to signal continuity, delivering the same trusted quality of certification built on 30 years of experience. But at the same time, this visual identity helps end user to easily recognize that when an air conditioner unit performance has been tested for harsh desert condition versus standard one. This is why it will have the same form of ECP performance, but with a specific color of red representing the harsh condition in the region and stating high ambient on the logo itself. So even though today we are making the official launch of the Desert Certification, we have some milestones already reached within the Desert Certification. So the first one is the announcement of our first certified manufacturer for the Desert Certification, which is Carrier, where you can see the chiller Aquaforce series already certified and available on Eurovent Certification website. If you go to eurovent-certification.com, in the product type, you type Desert Certification, you will directly get the first Desert certified unit available today online. So in addition to that, we have today Clivet and Media. They are awaiting testing result to get their certificate for Desert Certification. So we are launching the program today, and we are already having a major manufacturer in the market that getting their unit Desert certified. So in addition to the Desert Certification, we want to announce a great milestone in Eurovent Certification journey in the Middle East, where Eurovent Certification this month got officially accredited by SASO as a conformity assessment body. So this will be strengthening our Eurovent Certification leadership and trust in the GCC and HVAC market. Thank you for your attention.